And bam, what is happening, everybody? It is Coach Benway, the Dragonslayer, back with another episode of Epic Bourbon Tastings, this time on the East Coast. Let me tell you, I'm at my good friend John Raymonds' house, and it is magnificent. We got a little tequila here. Not sure what that's about, but he is the tequila aficionado himself. Please welcome to this chair right here, first-time co-host, Mr. John Raymonds. Look at this outfit. I can't believe it. This is actually...
I am ready.
Well, dude, I got to tell you, man, as tradition with Dr. White, which who knows where he is. Dr. White, you're missing out, let me tell you. But Dr. White also has a beautiful head, just like you do.
Okay.
And when we rinse out the glass...
I'll have to take my hat off.
At the very end, it's just a little bit of water, and I always pour it on his head.
Okay.
We must do that. Okay. So here's what we got. You are a tequila drinker.
Yes.
You got this Siete Leguas.
Yes.
Tequila Blanco.
Which I've never had before.
But are you trying to convert me, or I'm trying to convert you? Which way is it?
I know I'm going to convert you, so I mean that's just a matter of time.
Okay, we got a very special bottle of Blanton's here. We're going to start that to do the to set the palate.
Okay.
It's
awesome.
usually a very boring bottle, but off camera I had a sip of it out of the bottle, and I got to tell you, this is actually a really good bottle of Blanton's.
So what's the magic?
I don't know, but I'll tell you what, I tasted a little bit of coconut, I tasted a little bit of vanilla, I tasted all these notes that usually you don't find in a Blanton's. Blanton's to me is one of the most overrated bourbons, but it's a good one to start. It's almost a perfect bourbon to taste the beginning of everything.
And what's the story about the horse?
Well, sir, would you like for me to tell you?
Yes.
Well, on the top of these, you know, being from Kentucky and the good old Kentucky Derby, do you know the story about this horse? And you're just baiting me, or are you asking because you don't know?
The only thing I know about these bottles is that this is, I guess,
yes,
the letter. So, I guess you can spell out Blanton or something like that.
I'm actually trying to spell out not Blanton and not Raymond, but Raymonds and Blanton. So I'm actually trying to spell. I can't forget the S on the end. Okay, I actually have at my house 4 bottles of Blanton's, and I have Tons, and then a buddy of mine is getting one, so I actually have 5. I have 2 S's, but I'm looking for the B and the L and the A.
Are some letters actually harder to find?
Oh yeah, it's like remember the old Coca-Cola when you're trying to spell out Coca-Cola and you couldn't find exactly. Yeah, I think the B is probably the hardest because I haven't seen it. Anyway, if you had the B, I was taking this bottle home with me. Anyway, so the history of the horse, Kentucky, home of stallions and secretariat and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And so on the top they have that in memorial. It is the original single barrel bourbon. You could find this anywhere about 10 years ago for $50, and then John Wick, it was his preferred bourbon of choice, and they showed it in the background, and all of a sudden it went through the roof.
That makes sense.
Without further ado, look at these. This is a real man right here. Look at that. By the way, did you know that my dad's middle name is Raymond? No S. Did you know that his middle name is Raymond?
No.
Did I ever tell you that? Yeah, William Raymond Wade.
Okay.
But he dropped the S.
He dropped it. I found it.
I got it. I love it. That is a really good. Listen, this is 474. Barrel 474.
Correct.
I looked at it. And
yes.
Whatever about 474, man. That's a really good drink.
So what is this? Stored in warehouse on rick number. That's interesting.
Rick number 52.
So what is a rick?
So the rick is where they store the barrels.
Okay.
So when they put them down, they put them on like a rick house, and they put them on a rick, which basically holds them.
A rick is a drunken bourbon name for a rack.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
It's like when they have the cars that drive in New York City.
Yes.
And they go up, and then they put another one. Anyway, they have those, but they have the barrels.
Yeah. Look. I'm saying I'm still going to convert you, but this is good.
Tell me, is there one thing you can pick out of there that you can taste?
I think my sense of taste in being able to describe things is about equal to my sense of music in being able to describe the syntax of your life.
Well,
which is practically zero.
Okay, well.
But
Yep.
But
Oh, you're a really good co-host, man. I'm just going to tell you that right now. I'm feeling the
if
energy you're putting
you
down.
can call out some things, I can kind of connect that to the experience.
Okay, so if you are going to a bourbon tasting, or if you're just trying to impress your friends, which you don't have to do anymore, but some people out there still need to impress those that they're around. The natural oak that is charred that the bourbon rests in before
Yes.
they bottle it,
Yes.
naturally and chemically, scientifically proven, has vanilla,
Yes.
caramel,
Yes.
tanned leather, obviously oak, and sometimes coconut, sometimes spice, sometimes cloves, sometimes a fruity overtone. So if you say vanilla, caramel, honey on every bourbon, you're going to look like a champ. And it's those other tasting notes that we're trying to discover
Okay. Okay.
when we go through a tasting.
Yeah, the caramel, just it's a nice hint because caramel can be an overwhelming.
This is true.
Yes, it's a nice hint.
Actually, the flan that we had last night, the caramel was overwhelming. And usually it's not. Usually that's the part. I'm actually licking up the plate.
But this is nice.
No, that's good, right?
Very
All right,
nice.
Good. Okay, now let's talk about, as you just drink that, please, and rinse
Yes.
your glass.
Yes.
And sorry, I'm just tickled to be here with you. If you could please just remove your hat, sir. Ray
here we-
White, in honor
here
of
we
you.
go, here we
There's
go.
only a little bit.
Here
But
we go.
look at this.
Here we
It's so
go.
sexy. I'm just going to put it in a little. Look at that. Okay, thank you for letting me do that. It's tradition.
I think you probably could have done more than that.
I could have, but I just wanted to be gentle since it was your first time.
Oh.
Okay, now, here's the deal. I'm in Jersey, and actually, rewind. I'm in Jefferson's headquarters, and I ask my man Dan Burt, Chief Barrel Officer, what is the best ocean that you've ever done? And he said, without hesitation, the 22, but you can't find it anywhere. And so then I left Jefferson's tasting, and I looked on the internet, could not find it.
Yeah, you had to come here.
I guess I had to. Lo and behold, there was a website for Nicholas Barrel and Roost, which is in Jersey, and there was a couple of bottles. It was not for sale like nationwide. It was like hard to search it. And when I finally got on the website, I talked to Nicholas. I said, please send me some
That's
bottles.
right, yeah.
So he sent me a bunch of bottles. We
Yeah.
drank them all.
Yeah.
You can't find this stuff. We walked into Joey Canal. What is the name of it?
Joe Canals, which seems to be the most bizarre name for a discount liquor shop. I guess not if your name is Joey Canal.
Okay.
But
We walk into this place 3 days ago.
First of all, I was wondering if we were in the wrong place because I'm pulling into this place. I'm wondering if it's even open.
Right.
Go around. Like, okay, at least there's some cars in the lot. And we find the entrance. We go in, and like magic starts to happen.
I couldn't believe it. Let me say this. A little shout out to the owner of Joe Canals. What was that?
It was in Parsippany.
Parsippany. I don't even know the names
Yeah.
back here. It was incredible. I was like a kid in a candy store. They had all kinds of rare bottles, fair prices. And lo and behold, this was sitting there up front. And I
Yeah.
said, I saw the ocean,
Yes.
and I thought, well, this is cool. And then this happens to be a single barrel 22. You can't find this stuff. If you're in Jersey, get down to that liquor store because this is incredible. This is like a huge find, and they were selling it for $69.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unheard of. Let me tell you. If I lived here, they wouldn't have any bottles left. I think they got like 3 or 4 bottles left. Anyway, so this is a barrel pick, which means that New Jersey wine merchants picked this specific barrel out of all the barrels there and said this was a great one. They put 4 to 6 barrels on this ship right here. This is actually a Discovery Channel shark searching ship that Trey Zeller, the owner of Jefferson's, it's his buddy's ship. And so he decided 10 years ago to put a barrel on the ocean on this ship right here and take it around the world. This is a scientific research vessel, so it goes all over the world, and the barrel is sitting there sloshing back and forth, going through storms, going through hot temperatures, cold temperatures, wet temperatures, dry temperatures. And the reason why, when we opened it up, I said, keep this, because this actually has the ship's log. It was a smooth passage through the canal. My eyes are completely going, but we held up for some time, and now I'm just going to start making stuff up through rough seas, yada yada. Happy to be underway. I can't even read that anymore. Isn't that cool? Yes. Okay, so the notes on this are completely different than the ones on this first one. Okay, Ocean 22. We opened it 2 days ago so it could breathe. Notice I gave myself a little bit more of a generous pour on this one than the Blantons. I'm curious how this tastes, because I guarantee you this tastes different than the bottle that I have. That's
it smells different. I think it's a lighter smell to begin with.
Now with bourbon tasting, they say that the third taste is the real taste, just letting you know. First taste is the introduction, the second is the courtship, and the third one, my friend, is the embrace. Okay.
You know what's interesting is what you just said. Looking at bourbon bottles on a shelf, how would I know that?
Right.
And it's such a fascinating departure from the mundane art, if you will. I mean, if I say mundane, it's still an art, but that's a fascinating approach.
Isn't that cool? And that's the world, because it goes around the world. It goes over the Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn.
I find this the way I describe it, a lighter experience. It's more subtle, and I would probably pick the Ocean over the Blantons.
Yep. It's very interesting. This tastes nothing like the 22 that I have at home. Yeah. It does not taste like the 22 that I have at home. It is lighter. This is richer than the Blantons I have at home. Right? This is more complex than any. I'm not just saying this. That's more complex than any Blantons that I've ever had. Ever. And I've had a dozen and more bottles of Blanton. They're always very mundane. This is usually, you can smell and taste the salt of the ocean, and it tastes a little bit peaty, which you do pick that up here. But it actually is definitely smoother and less robust than the 22 that I have at home.
Still very enjoyable. Very enjoyable.
But super smooth. The way that I like to drink the Oceans is I stick my tongue out and I let the bourbon come over my tongue, and I let it rest there for a second while the front of my tongue and those sweeter taste buds taste it. If you do that with this, you can taste.
And you can do that with this.
Because it's not too.
Yeah.
And then there's all kinds of honey and almost like an apricot. I'm going to see if they can send me, if they can ship to California. I'm going to order one of those at home and then taste the 22 side by side.
That would be fascinating.
That'd be really cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great idea.
Yeah.
But I think that I don't know anything about these bourbons, but I like the fact that they're different. Because to me that gives some vote of confidence that the bourbon is slave to the process. So it's not a slave to someone trying to make them exactly the same. So that
Yep. And a lot of thought goes behind. Some of these bourbon makers put an incredible amount of thought behind the bourbon and, of course, the mash bill and a lot of other things. Trey Zeller was like, let me see if I can create something different. He's coming, by the way, from a very historically significant bourbon company in the bourbon world. Jefferson's 15 years ago was running side by side with Pappy Van Winkle under the Stitzelweller distillery, which has now died off and is no longer around. So Trey Zeller takes this over from a very historically significant bourbon company, and he's trying to make it his own. Every single Jeffersons that they release is different. The nuances are great. I'm a big fan of Jeffersons. I actually have more Jeffersons bottles at home than any other one. But there's a lot of thought that goes into it.
Because a lot of also when you talk about consistency in spirits like this, where you have a process that is variable because of nature, if you end up with a consistent product, really the only way you're going to do that is with additives.
That's right. Yep. Or temperature extremes.
Then you're going to force the nature to get to an extreme, which is probably not the best idea. We're going to do it?
I don't know, man. I mean, I'm scared because, first of all, when I have tequila, I get pissed. Not at you. Is there a bear around here? I heard there was bears in these woods because I'm going to get pissed. Let me tell you.
He's going to get pissed.
And I've never had tequila after bourbon.
Okay, so
help me, save me.
I mean, pissed.
Oh, sorry. Oh gosh.
So pissed, does that mean drunk?
No.
Or pissed
yeah.
You see.
If we were in England,
we have to be accurate here.
Yeah.
We got to be accurate with our words.
My friend Red from England says he's pissed as a newt, but that means that he's drunk.
Exactly.
AF. Okay, I'm going to tell you, man. I'm actually going to pour this for you. I cannot sully my palate.
Now the Siete Leguas,
Yep,
right?
Yep.
I have not had this, but this was one of, 3, 4 that came highly recommended out of a visit to Ciudad de Mexico. That I don't know. I mean, I think they've been hard for me to find, and this is the first one I found out of those recommendations.
And you found it in
the city,
right near
Columbus Circle.
There it is. I don't even know what that is. I would have said the park.
Well, yes.
What's the name of that?
The Central Park.
Okay, thank you for
Columbus Circle's on the southwest corner.
I have to have a little bit
park.
of this, dude. I can't just have you drink alone, man. I'm just gonna pour just a bit.
Oh,
well, I'm telling you.
Come on. That's not even a taste.
All right.
Come on.
How's that?
Okay, that's better.
Okay, you're right. Third taste.
That's better.
Okay, let's see it.
So here we
Never
go.
done this. This is the first on Epic Bourbon Tastings.
Epic Tequila Tastings.
No.
He's changing the name of the show, you know. He's changing the name of the show. And after every episode of Epic Tequila Tastings, there will be Fight Club, but you can't talk about that. That's actually very nice.
Hey, dude. Yeah, I mean, that's good.
Look, one thing I found out about tequila, if I can talk.
Dang it! No, just kidding. Oh, sorry. Okay, yes, sir. Please continue.
You know, there's that old, was it 1 tequila, 2 tequila, 3 yeah. See, I can't talk.
3 tequila.
Floor.
I thought it was 4. Okay.
But
yes,
to me, one of the telltale signs of a good tequila is not the floor. You're able to actually experience that tequila and not have an after effect. So it's something where a tasting is only part of the experience.
and of course, a real experience is like we talked about 2 nights ago. As we'd say in Argentina, junto, which means we're together.
Oh,
Close,
gosh.
like it means like we're close together and we're just hanging out and existing in the moment.
That is the experience. Well, this has been awesome.
I really appreciate you being here, letting us be in your magnificent house. How does this it tastes very, very smooth to me. You like it?
I like it. I approve it. I think it is a for the Blanco. It is certainly in the top as far as contenders for that space.
I did not convert you to bourbon.
I found the ocean to be a nice experience. The Blantons is actually okay too.
But do you have a new appreciation for bourbon?
Yes, because of the stories you've told.
I do love the stories.
Yes.
Can I get a bam on 3, John?
Yeah.
One.
How do we do this?
Well, it's like the Dragonslayer. It's like the Dragonslayer Tai Chi,
And then
but it's just a bam like that.
like bam.
Oh, look at this guy,
Okay.
left-handed too.
Yeah, well, we're symmetric.
That's perfect.
Yes.
I love it.
You don't want to be
actually really
asymmetric.
good. You've been really good, actually. 1, 2, 3, bam!
Bam!